Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Our second topic comes from Evan. I followed a lot of Star Wars Celebration this year, and there was some really good stuff, except there really wasn't any mention of future Star Wars movies. The only thing I really saw was that Lucasfilm is now saying that future movies will be set in the sequel era. Whatever happened to the Old Republic stuff?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Evan. And yeah, Ann and I went to Star Wars Celebration on Saturday, had a good time there, chatted with Sam Witwer a little bit while we were there.
Did you get his autograph?
I did. I went and got Sam's autograph. Okay, true story. Did I tell you? I can't remember if I said this in the show. So when Ann and I were looking at what was going on Saturday, she says, "Oh, Sam's doing autographs," and like a bunch of people were looking like Ewan McGregor's sold out, whatever, right? She goes, "Well, Sam's not sold out," and I just had this. I don't know why I thought this. I had this picture in my head. You know, sometimes you go to a convention and there'll be somebody sitting at a autograph booth and there's nobody there in line for them. I remember thinking, oh, I would hate it if that's what happened to Sam. So let's sign up. So we signed up to do it, right? And of course, Sam had a huge line at his thing, but whatever. So we got in line, got up the front, and he looks at me and goes, "What are you doing here?" And it's like, I didn't say, well, I didn't think anybody would come for your autograph. I was like, but it was great to see this huge big line, all these people with some like figures and like art. This one guy standing in front of us did his own art rendition of Starkiller.
Wow.
And brought it as a gift for him and got him to sign one of the other ones. Like there's some really cool stuff there. Anyway, yeah, Star Wars Celebration. Pretty good. A lot of fun. So Chris didn't get to go, of course, even though she had tickets for 3 years and she didn't end up going because of,
Vesna in the chat was like, "Are you cursed?"
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe you need an electric house. Maybe that'll fix your problems. So anyway, a bunch of stuff came out, like lots of Bad Batch season 2. Who cares?
Although the trailer is pretty dope.
I'm sure it is. Listen, to be fair, I liked the first episode or two of Bad Batch. It's just then it went to crap after that. So it's like, okay, I got off that. But anyway, no mention about any movies.
Which surprised me.
The one thing that came out was during an interview, not one of the official events. Kathy Kennedy did confirm that the next movie is Taika Waititi's movie. That's the first one up. So it's like, okay, that's good to hear. But nothing else about any movies whatsoever. The other little mention that she made was the fact that any new movies are going to be taking place in the sequel trilogy era and moving forward. So this comes to us from the folks over at so this is her quote. I believe this is coming from Variety wrote, "While speaking with Empire at Star Wars Celebration, which happens to be underway right now," of course this is the other day, in Anaheim, California, Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that the sequel era will explore further in upcoming Star Wars movies. "We're moving further beyond the existing sequels as we look to our movie space. The sequel era is what we talk about a lot in terms of where we're going with our movies and just how far out from that will go. That's very much the space we're concentrating on." Okay, couple of interesting things here. We already know they are looking at other eras when it comes to animation and TV series. So we already know they're looking at the High Republic era, which is prequel. They're already looking at a few other things. So we know that's going on there. But for their movies, they're looking at going forward. All I can say to that is glory, glory, hallelujah. Because that's the direction I have been saying for a long time I want Star Wars to go. Further, be better than The Rise of Skywalker, please. But other than that, move forward. Tell new stories with new characters. Star Wars is not called Skywalker. Star Wars is not the story of the Skywalker family any more than America is the story of, the Kennedys. Kennedys are a big part of the American history. Kennedys are a huge part of it, but they're not America. The Skywalkers have played a major role in the story of Star Wars up to now, but with such a vast galaxy and so many stories to tell. And we want to know what happens after the First Order. What goes on now? What becomes the next big threat? Maybe you create something brand new. Maybe you go back to expanded universe stuff and start cherry picking some things out, like the Uzang Vong or something like that, right? A lot of potential. But moving forward is the idea. But they got to get back to the movies. The movies have to happen. Because as much as I enjoyed Obi-Wan episodes 1 and 2, as much as I love Mandalorian, as much as I tolerated watching Book of Boba Fett, whatever. And I'm sorry, I know this is going to ruffle some feathers the wrong way. TV is lesser than. It's lesser than.
You're getting no argument from me.
It is a smaller medium with a smaller budget to tell some really good, quaint stories. Mandalorian's awesome. Don't get me, I love it. But they've got to be tethered to the movie. You have to have an active, thriving movie franchise going with the bigger scope and the bigger scales to really expand the mythology of what you're doing with, so that you can then have these TV shows that can feed off that. Look at what's going on with Marvel right now. I enjoy the MCU TV shows, other than Hawkeye. I didn't like that one very much. But I'm enjoying the Marvel TV shows, but they're operating at the same time that an active, thriving movie franchise is also going, to build that hype and excitement. And so you can use these TV shows to tell really good, interesting stories while still being tethered to the larger scale stuff. And right now, I personally feel that you can really feel the lack of Star Wars on the big screen, that much bigger scope, the epic scale, all that kind of stuff. Now, look, I am not blaming them at all. And I'm actually thankful as a fan that after The Rise of Skywalker, Lucasfilm realized we need to do a little bit of a reset. Because, look, I loved The Force Awakens. I liked The Last Jedi. God, I hated The Rise of Skywalker. So I was really appreciated the fact that I said, okay, look, let's take a breath. Let's not rush forward, and let's see where we're at. And I appreciated that. I did. It's been 3 years. And we don't have so much we know Taika Waititi's making a movie someday. We know freaking Kevin Feige is going to do a Star Wars movie at some undisclosed time in the future, maybe. Like, to not have something now after 3 years and coming at a Star Wars Celebration without anything pertaining to the big screen part of Star Wars is, to me, baffling. Like, Grant, okay, you might still be a year and a half away from getting Taika's movie in front. Get Taika on stage. Talk about the fact that we're excited. Why do you love the Star Wars universe, Taika? What are some things you want to bring to a movie, Taika? You don't have to get Taika to tell them everything about, well, here's what the movie's about. Here's going to be you don't even have to do that. Just get them on stage, celebrate focus on the fact that there's a Star Wars movie coming. And the fact that they went all through Celebration and they had some really cool stuff at Celebration. I'm not saying they didn't. They absolutely did. But to have no mention of a Star Wars movie, to me, is confounding. We want to take a second to thank the sponsors of this video, MeUndies. Guys, when you've got a job like mine where you're sitting down talking about movies or sitting down and watching a lot of movies, you learn to appreciate a really good pair of underwear. And this summer, guys, why suffer through junk swamp with that 20 pairs in a plastic bag junk that we normally buy for ourselves, when you could be enjoying this summer wearing the most breathable, softest, most comfortable underwear out there, MeUndies. I've been wearing MeUndies for a little while now, and I'm telling you, I am never going back. Because let's face it, guys, summer is sweaty, but your butt doesn't have to be. With MeUndies' light and breathable micro-model fabric, you can stay comfy and cool all summer long. They have super fun seasonal prints and tons of styles to choose from in any size, from extra small to 4XL, so you can bring the beach to your butt without ever leaving your living room. Make it a soft summer with MeUndies. MeUndies has a great offer for my viewers and listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. If you sign up for their free-to-join membership, you can apply that 15% off to their already discounted membership prices. So to get 15% off your first order and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea. That's MeUndies.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, there's a lot of stuff here to cover. Number one, new movies moving forward in the timeline. What else is there? Just the fact that there were no movies mentioned. I don't know. What's your take on this whole thing?
You know, I said, I thought pretty definitively that they were going to make movie announcements. I said on this show a couple weeks ago, and I thought for sure they would, because we had Kevin Feige's movie, we've got Taika Waititi's movie, what's going on with Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins' movie. I thought for sure that they would have something, because like you know, we talk about how streaming works, but it's movies that are grossing hundreds of millions of dollars. And if a Star Wars movie's good, it's $1 billion franchise in addition to generating subscribers. So to not have movies is strange. You know, John, I don't understand why they don't do something radical. Like, Star Wars takes place a long time ago. Well, you could jump, say, 1,000 years into the Star Wars universe future and like do something radical, show a galaxy where there's balance in the Force, where there's equal Sith, and there's equal dark and light side of the Force, and there is a balance. The galaxy is in harmony. Do something radical. People would be like, wait, really? Like this. And then the whole thing is about how the center cannot hold. Things fall apart if you're into poetry. You know, and then show an unraveling. That there has been this great peace that's lit for 1,000 years between the Sith or whatever and the Jedi or whatever the new incarnations of the Force is, and then show the great unraveling. And your whole story would be about what happens when a society is not mindful of what they've built. You know, you can't let what or something like that, you know, and all new characters, something completely radical that's totally different, where you are not tied to anything that came before aside from the central idea of the Force.
And
You know,
maybe bring some wars back to Star Wars.
well, that's what I mean. And that's what would happen. You'd be watching this great unraveling that led to this conflict. What happened before will happen again. You know, like being Galactica and this idea that this thing is so cyclical and it could be and the rise of a new kind of a Jedi. Do something new, and they could. No, I'm just saying. A lot of people that might be a little too radical. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there. I would love to see a feature film franchise where I cannot anticipate the next. I'm rattling with excitement to see the next movie, because, like you just said, Star Wars belongs on the big screen, man. And as much as I appreciate their volume technology and the way they're making the shows,
Oh, and they're doing some great stuff.
Yeah.
they're doing great
Absolutely.
stuff, but I do miss the scope, dude.
Yeah.
I want to see like the Battle of Hoth. I want to see AT-ATs and snow speeders coming out and blowing up the shield generator, and I want to see stormtroopers coming through the base, you know, and the hangar decks that are huge. I want to get me into space, man. Show me fleets of ships, capital ships. You know, I watched the beginning of Revenge of the Sith over the weekend. Just the space battle. Just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that one long shot. That's a great piece
Yeah.
of John Williams music. But I'm like, I want to see capital ships slamming into each other, man. I miss that. That's
Yeah.
what I want. Give me some Star Wars, like you said. Put the war back in Star Wars.
Chris, you heard about all this. What stands
Mm-hmm.
out to you?
I mean, we bought tickets, everyone, the collective, not just me, bought tickets for Star Wars Celebration back in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
In 2019, this was 3 years in the making, and we don't talk about a movie? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous to me, and seems so just short-sighted to not discuss this. And I know they have a lot of different things going on. We've got a lot of things on different burners, but Star Wars is a film franchise, first and foremost. Right? And I love television. I think we are in such a wonderful television renaissance. I do think there are things that television does better than film, but I want to see the expanse of space like you guys on an IMAX screen, in a Dolby Cinema. I want to see all of that there. And so I love that we are getting these kind of mini movies and everything, but I need to go to a theater to see this. And it's just disappointing that something like this wasn't brought up at Star Wars Celebration after so many years of waiting for new news.
Now, it should be pointed out, they've announced that the next Star Wars Celebration is next year in
Europe.
April in London. Maybe we should go.
We should go, dude.
Ooh.
When I saw that, I'm like, oh, London's one of the great cities in the world.
I've never been to London. And,
I love
and
London.
Oh, John.
I've had people all the way back to the movie blog days. We've got a lot of viewers in England and like who've written to us like, when are you going to come to London? When are you going to come to London? I'm like, as soon as Elon Musk sends in that $20,000 tip, then we're definitely coming. I mean, maybe we should start planning to go to it next year.
It's
And-
beautiful.
But
It's
man,
so
I'll tell you
fun.
what, if we pack up, get a little production rig together, fly over to London, do dailies from out there, and they don't talk about any movies again, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh.
I would be
There's-
so
I
there's
would
a
pissed.
flip
couple of-
every table.
There's a couple of good companies we could hire, so we don't have to pack up anything. They could provide the production services for us.
Right, well, we can talk about that later.
Be a
But
lot of
anyway,
fun.
guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? They're saying any new movies that they're going to do are going to be from New Era on. I personally think that is the right direction
I
to
agree.
go. I really do. Save the other stuff if you want to do some television and fill in the blanks there with the storytelling there. That can be great. But at some point, you got to start talking about some movies. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? Whatever it is, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your Thoughts?